Hi, this is Mia. I'm not sure how much memory I have because I have really no memory and I can't post any pictures or videos. I was making a video last week because I was involved 1 week ago in a motor vehicle accident, and I had been at the doctor all night. Actually, after the accident occurred, we went to a chiropractor instead of to the hospital. And the chiropractor did a very good assessment. I was trying to sleep just now and I couldn't, and I'm kind of grumpy because my back and my whole body hurt. But different areas, it's like different areas are painful at the same, or at different times, or at the same time. So it's like I've never, someone could stub their toe and be like, oh, I never felt this before, but it's like, oh my gosh, I felt horrible, and I feel tired, and I feel stressed, and I'm grumbling, and I'm happy I'm grumbling because it's better than being dead and not being able to grumble. I haven't got any help from anyone. Everyone's like, you have 2 teenagers. They need to help you. They need to take responsibility of cooking and cleaning, but it's like my kids kind of have special needs. They're not like when I was a teen, I was more normal, more going to traditional school, had, dad I was afraid of, and a mom I was afraid of, and whenever we're hungry or stressed about not being able to pay our bills, and we had a stress for a couple months about not getting extra clothes and extra junk and toys, but that wasn't stress because you can't pay your light bill, and I missed a lot of work, and there was a mandatory meeting, and I talked to my dad a couple times. And he's just like, go to work. And it's like, oh, you're not hurt that bad. And it's like, just because I didn't end up in the hospital or on a stretcher or, in a surgery doesn't mean that I'm not miserable. And part of me was like, oh, other people I know went to hospital, people fed them, and they got to walk around and have visitors and flowers. But I'm like, no one has done anything, and they found out I'm home. They're like, can you tell me the licensing exam requirements for Kansas? I'm moving there in a couple of days. I'm like, I don't care about Kansas right now. It's like, I'm still trying to get my license for this state. I'm still trying to figure out this state so that I can actually figure out how to work. I have to work my job so that I can pay for my licensing fees, and I still don't have the money to pay for it. It's ridiculous. It's like, these people that I know, they're either A, their parents are taking really good care of them, B, somehow they got a fat bank account, C, they have a spouse taking care of them, D, they're on mega welfare for having a bunch of kids. And I'm like, I'm just asking God, can you guide me to be friends with working people? Will you guide me to be friends with people that aren't having all their wages garnished because they're flat broke? And will you guide me to be with hard workers who know how to have fun? There's some people I'm thinking in mind of all these different situations. It's like, God, can you have me be friends with someone who's balanced and doesn't suck the life out of you because they're too lazy to do things for themselves. It's like you give an inch, you take a mile, and so then you just have to take your inch back and be like, no. And it's like, you can hire me to do graduate counseling and resume support. I'm charging $200 an hour. Because they're like, oh, why do you get this stupid lowest paying job? Why do you work this thing? Why do you volunteer here? What a waste of time. What a waste of money. And it's like, I get some little part-time job, but that's not welfare. It's not student loans. It's higher than minimum wage, and people are like, oh, you don't make that much. You're not gonna be able to survive on that. They're like, oh, you need to make like $120,000 a year minimum. And it's like, dude, I've applied for jobs for years, and there's rarely anyone calling me. Like, the 2 jobs, like non-work study jobs that I took. One was minimum wage, 10 cents above, because I had a college degree, and the other one is not much higher. I don't even know what minimum wage anymore. It's got to be a lot higher than that was 5 years ago. So I'm like, if you have a degree, like my thing is, my job is going to be self-employed as a physician and as a LLC with some health products that I'm trying to get as a separate business. But I'm contacting the state about this, and they're giving me a really hard time, and I'm trying to decide if I don't want to pay the $40 to keep the business name if I'm signing up for the wrong type of business. So that's my thing right now. There's a lot of people, like, I'm thinking in my mind, there's a lot of people that came and went from church, but I think about these people that didn't have any education, they had all these businesses, and they did the footwork, and I come from a family that they can work for others and be told what to do, but they don't necessarily, and my family does do footwork as far as home businesses and investing things and playing around with money. Usually they have a lot of money and they can play around with the other money, so it's not something that's going to be putting a roof over their head or paying back over $250,000 and almost $500,000 student loans. So my thing right now is that I have had these ideas, and I feel so alone with people that I know. It's kind of depressing because you know, of course, the Facebook age, you see everyone else having fun, and you're like, oh, birthday party. You see like people having 20 people going to a restaurant to celebrate their birthday, and going to the beach, and having their boyfriends, and doing this, and the family comes take them out for dinner. I see all these people doing that, and then I see myself on my birthday. Here I am. Oh, here I am. Like, I'm alive. I'm breathing. Thank God. Let's just read a book and watch a movie and clean out animal cages and do dishes because no one else will. It's like stupid. It's so stupid. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I don't know where I was the other day, in a doctor's office or something. That's where I spend most of the time. I always come home like, I gotta do dishes, I gotta do laundry, I gotta cut the grass, I gotta wash the car, it's like, I gotta study for a test, got midterms, I'm writing a class that's boring, I just read it, it was boring to me. All these different things, and I'm like, what if I just went home and said, oh, day's work's done, I'm home safely, thank God, say hi to everyone, feed everyone, and just be like content. And just be like, oh, this is my house. It's not going to be perfectly clean all the time, so deal with it. I'm injured. Nobody helped. Deal with it. People are mocking me. People will come into my house, knock on my door, and be like, what's wrong with you? You look horrible. Wearing rags. Your house is dark and cold. It's all that stuff costs money, electricity. This is like a battery-powered lantern. It also costs money, but I'm like, I already paid for that one. Electricity you have to pay for over and over. It's like I see other people on a good day when there's nothing wrong with them. Got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people a week helping them, coming over, cleaning their house, organizing stuff, taking out their garbage, driving their kids to and from school, buying them food, making them food, buying them computers, buying them, it's like I see people being taken care of, whether it's a spouse or a parent or a community or religious organization, and I just feel left out, and my mind is like praying like, oh dear God, I'm just gonna get rich and pay off my loans fast and just like highly consider this counseling group, and then after I do that and work as a physician, I'm gonna like open up this company that can help people. That will keep my mind from grumbling. Like, it's like treat others like they want to be treated, but then it's like all those people that diss me and I did everything for them, and they had surgery, and they were hurt. I prayed for them, and I did this, and I gave them, went through my cupboards and gave them all this food and tea and stuff, and it's like they didn't do anything back, and I'm just like grumpy about it, and I'm like, I don't want to be like, fine, I'm not going to ever help them again, but I'm at a level right now where if I don't take care of myself, everything's going to crumble, and it can't be self-will, it has to be God's will. So that's where I am right now, is trying to have a good attitude, because it's unfortunate that we're stranded at home for several days with no food, and I can't drink the tap water, I'm allergic. So it's like, how do you, of course, I don't know, I've got lots of bills coming in. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of bills came in after the accident, and I'm just like, I need to order all thousands of checks to pay. So they're not consolidated. I have to figure out how to pay them, and then I got to come up with multi-thousands of dollars by the beginning of January, and I'm like, really? I don't know what to do. It's just, I trust in God, but unless, the thing is, a family member said that they were going to pay all that and help buy food, and I was going to work and pay for my increase in rent, my heat, my electric, and my gas and stuff. I was going to pay my living expenses. This person was going to help me with getting my license and getting my certificates for the midwifery, and then they changed their mind, and they also were going to help me to get on my feet, because they're like, oh, you graduated now with a medical degree, then I'm not going to help you with anything. I changed my mind. But it's like, when you graduate with a medical degree, you still have to pay $1,000 to take the test, all the tests. The tests for the state are $1,000 plus all the other fees, plus the books. The license is going to be like $450. And, the fingerprinting, I have no idea how much that is. I had to pay for the passport pictures. I had to do it in small increments. I looked online and saw all my classmates had their license. I don't have my license because I didn't pay for it. I would have had my license set out October 1st. And it's my fault I didn't do all that. Plus, I was like, what if the stress of everything and the lack of money would have caused me to fail one of the exams? I said, because it would have been an extra exam. It took 3 days or one exam, a half day of one exam, and then 2 other small exams. So I didn't take the 2 small exams, and I passed the big ones that are used in U.S. and Canada. Whew, that is the big bear. So I didn't take the small exams. They're offered 4 times a year instead of 2. So I was like, okay with that. But it does do something to your heart. There was a student. Was it this lady? Yeah, I think she was at the Oriental College of Medicine, and I think she took some time off. There was a couple stories you hear. Either someone's sick, or they take time off, mental stuff, or their jaw's all out of whack, etc. And it's either that lady or some lady who had a baby. It's one or the other. I remember a lady that had a baby, she took a half a term off. Something like that. Or a year. And she said it was really hard to come back to school and watch her classmates graduate and go to work as acupuncturists. And I was like, you know what, you're doing it though. You know what, you have kids. I slowed down my program and all that stuff. But now when I see everyone I graduated with their license, with their open door, I'm like, oh, I'm behind. I'm like, someone told me, slow and steady. I forget what the second half of that sentence is. Slow and steady, something. I'm like, he's like, success. That's going to be a successful way to do it. And where I work part-time, it's like, oh, we had some naturopaths in here working part-time. After graduation, some of them, they went jumped into these job opportunities, and other ones they started slow, like you. And I'm like, slow. But I don't know. I couldn't even find anyone to study for with the test. I don't even, like, everyone was studying for all these tests together and doing all this stuff. It's like, I don't even know. I just can't believe that I don't know. The people I talk to kind of like suck the life out of me. Usually, the only people that talk to me are not Americans, so. There's some, I just want to tell the truth. There's something, okay, there are some Americans that talk to me, and they're all physicians or health practitioners. Those are the only people that, like, call to see what's going on and all this stuff. Like, so, like, that and foreigners, and most of the foreigners are also health practitioners. I mean, hey, I went to medical school, everyone's like 20-something too, which I'm like almost twice their age. So, yeah, so that could have something to do with it. It's just kind of a lonely street, and, you know, being the only parent and being like, man, that must be hard. We should help you, but we're not going to. We should, but we're not. People always say that. It's like, we should help you. And I feel bad because it's like, well, I don't need to be angry at them because I'm not in a position to help them. I used to help all the time, and my health was bad, like colds and stuff, so anyways, I'm just babbling on right now. There's a lot of I had some stuff to do a few weeks ago, and I wrote it all down in scrap paper. Haven't looked at it since. I think that I got most of that done. There's a couple things with my kids at school that I need to really get back on track with, but for the most part, I am needing to make a new list is what the point is. And some of the babies that I was attending their births are like 3 months old already. Oh my gosh. I can't, it's like, you saw them, I see them when they were 7 days old. And now they're like real big babies. Like, they know people's voices, they stare at people, they know the sound of their dad, they know the smells of everyone and the lights. I was just like, what? And I've been missing a lot of all of my activities because of this motor vehicle accident. Everyone, this is why I want to tell you the truth. I'm very flexible. I'm very, like, I hurt my foot in Aikido class really bad. I continued to fight with the person, spar, take each other down to the ground, and my foot swelled to twice as big and turned black. And then I said, gee, and I can't feel my foot, I can't walk very well. Maybe I should go get some ice and, like, not participate. Can you, like, and the teacher's way over there, I can't even walk over there to tell him. Like, I ought to just grab my stuff and leave. But I tried for, like, 5 more minutes to just be like, oh, it's nothing, oh, it's nothing. That's what I did when I had kids. Oh, it's nothing. Just gotta do some dishes now, and do some laundry, and scrub floors, and, you know. Yeah, I had a baby a couple hours ago, but did my body feel like it was nothing? No. Did I feel like I was about to die? Yes. Did I have anyone else making my food or try to clean clothes? No. No one. So when I ask for help, I am pretty, like, at the end of my threshold for being able to deal with it. And when I'm at that stage, people are like, because I'm, like, so calm about it. Like, a normal person would have asked for help, like, way down here in the threshold. But I go in very calm about it because I'm like, gee, I better just pay attention. Because in the past, I didn't, and I made my body worse. I just keep saying that small cavity thing. Small cavity turns into a completely eroded 3 teeth. You see people with the whole bottom of their mouth is black. Like, that started as a small cavity. They could have just had filled or pulled, and they wouldn't have had that spread all over the place. Besides the fact they could just brush their teeth and floss and get a regular cleaning and not eat the same foods and da-da-da-da. So right now I'm in a position where I'm like, just wanted to say, it's really hard for me to ask for help because I've got so little. And when I was sick, like with vomiting, diarrhea, and puking, I'd go out in public, go to the doctor, and they'd be like, you don't look sick. And it's like, I don't look my age either. And I don't look like I have 2 teenagers either, do I? And I don't look like a lot of things. I don't look like I have a car because I'm black. And I don't look like I live in a house and not an apartment because I'm black. Like, there's like a lot of things I don't look like. So they were doing this thing about having me turn my neck, and I'm very flexible. And it hurt, like, she's like, just go like this, and I'm just like somebody, it's like having your hand stuck in a car door. You're just like, this is intolerable, and like, oh, you don't look like you're hurt. I was like, I was ultra flexible. Like, I was putting, like, this part of my head way down to my elbow before, and it's like, now I'm not doing half that, which is more than a normal person does. And the pain is unbearable. And I haven't taken any pain meds. I have, like, anti-inflammatory. And they put in my chart that I was on this medication for pain. I'm like, it's actually anti-inflammatory with ginger and stuff in it. It's like a natural healing herb. I'm just like, are you stupid? But I was in so much pain I wanted to go to an ambulance, but the fear of money and being locked in a hospital, not against my will, was kind of an issue. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to stop this video. I would like to really, my phone doesn't connect to my computer anymore, and that's like kind of causing it. Everything is completely filled with the memory and everything. I gotta really cut back on memory hogging things, but I'm asking God for help, and I'm thanking God that I'm alive, and I'm just, it's just like, it's a major eye-opener. And with all of this, I was also in a position where I was grumpy about not eating my favorite raw food diet, and like, I'm still eating 50% fruits and vegetables and nuts, and then some other foods, because I used to get the kids ultra healthy food and get myself ultra healthy food. But we have to slash the healthy, and just get normal food and eat it together. Like, and I've been getting fat and acne and stuff. Like, I just am so, like, you check your purse, it's just like, what's the most nutritious thing I can get? Like, I don't really eat meat and stuff, but I've been eating it because, as far as I can tell, besides all the other additives, try not to get any additives, or they always put additives. It's like, get the healthiest additives. It was better for me to get some meat than to go pay $6 for a raw food cookie or a raw food pie that will last less than 12 hours, if I really make it last. Or I can't pay $4 for one serving of sprouted almonds. I want to. I can't buy raw ice cream. I can't spend $4 for raw juice. That's so refreshing to me. Like, I have to make it from scratch. I don't have time, and now I can hardly stand. So I'm just like, well, we put the meat in the crock pot, and all three of us ate it. And I had some salad, and they had a sandwich, and I just rather eat that $6 raw food product. But the meat cost about the same, and it lasted 2-3 days. And it costs a little bit more than that, but it fed 3 people for 3 days instead of one person for less than a day. So I just feel kind of guilty about that, but it's like, you gotta do what you can do. And most of the foods that are cheapest, corn, wheat, tapioca, I'm not gonna eat them because I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. But you have to choose your battles, and those are the most extreme for me. Sugar is not that good for me either, but I've been eating a little bit of sugar because I bought Hershey miniatures, and no one likes the dark. And the raw chocolate is highly expensive, so it's like, oh well. So I've been buying stuff in bulk too, which uses all your money. Checking the price per ounce on everything, getting stuff on sale. So, Brian Kids Ramen, this is all. My friend has 5 kids. She's like, I'm lowering my standards. But she eats out a lot at restaurants and travels a lot. I'm like, how does she do all that? It's like, I wouldn't be eating at restaurants. I'd be going to get the raw food juices. It's like, some of this stuff is so highly nutritious. It's like, I could just eat that for breakfast and lunch and eat like a handful of nuts and be good. And feel better too, mentally and physically and spiritually. But this is, this is all for your accountability, folks out there. Those of you that heard me say that, I will ask God what to do about this, because I've already paid, I had to pay pretty much around extra $10,000 for my midwifery and then future doula class. About 10, and then the test, and then the certificate, and then that, and then that, and then that, and now the papers, and the photocopies, and the this, and the that, and that, because my printer, it's got $200, I got a big stack of paperwork, should probably put in the safe deposit box, you know, da-da-da-da-da. So right now, I'm like, I feel like $10,000, pulling $10,000 out of your pocket when you don't have money and you work 20 hours a week at a not that high paying job is kind of creepy. And having to pay for a house in a welfare housing, which is not cheap either, because they take advantage of you, and buy food and buy gas and pay all the bills. It's the phone bill. It's just like everyone's like, oh, you just buy movies and rent stuff and cable and this. I'm like, I don't, like, you're normal. I don't have any of that stuff. We went to borrow something, we borrow it from the library, and we watch it. And we watch old stuff, because no one's fighting over it, you know? Stuff no one heard of. So, for accountability people, the biggest thing I'm going to say right now is that I need to pray about it, because on paper, this does not look pretty. But, in real life, this is like, I don't want to be overdrawing my account. I don't want to be going to payday loan places. I don't want to put a loan title on my car. There's still people I know who get paid the amount of money I get paid are doing, and I don't want it. I don't want the people you owe money to be emailing me and calling me and getting in my face about you owe me this and you owe me that. Like, I'm seriously like, how can I do the work of God? How can I take care of kids in a godly household without that? Without some comfort, wiggle room and retirement planning and, I'll probably potentially lose my health care benefits because of my income, and because I got that when I was homeless, and everyone's like, you don't make that much, you're not going to lose anything. It's like, really? I was making like, was it like $40, less than $40 a week, or $20 to $40 a week, and with my ex-husband, they cut anything that we had to zero, or maybe to $20 a month of any kind of help, and because I was making a few bucks, and they don't, and what they don't count is your loans and your classes and your expenses that have to do with your education. They don't count that. So the only way I can get through this is with God's help. And with God's help, this is the last in the series. This is Lori Wick's Promise Me Tomorrow from the Rocky Mountain Memory series. She usually has a lot of her books in group of 4 is number 4, and I bought off eBay because the library and nobody had a copy of it. There was no penny copies. I was still cheap, but it was like, I found like 4 copies online, and 2 or 3 of them were in 4 sets, so like 20 something bucks. So I just bought the one. I had borrowed the others from the library. So I read these books. They always end up like these weird, adventurous, or self-reliant, or someone vulnerable, or women that are running these huge businesses are usually run by men in the 1800s. Like, they always fall in love with Mr. Right and everything. Everyone's happily ever after, despite all their tragedies. And I was like, I was begging God for the past 9 3/4 year. Oh, I just need to find somebody and it could be a godly family and help make our family whole, and it hasn't happened at all. I haven't even made friends. And so I'm like reading these books, but they're interesting because they're family related. They're not just a love story. But it's like, I about gave up. I'm like, dear God, there's no point. There's not much of a point in hoping. I mean, you can hope and still keep it in the back of your mind, but it's not going to be, it's going to be on the back burner. It's like, we don't have time to, it's like the thing is, if there's something I want and it doesn't happen, it doesn't even remotely happen, it's like, it's kind of depressing. It's like, oh, God's timing, this and that, and it's like, whatever. It's like, time to move on. Time to move on, because it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't remotely happened, and it's still God's timing, but right now it's not God's timing, so it's time for me to do something else. So that's what I'm going to do, is just, it's one of those things you can plan out your day, but you gotta but you could have God look at this and prove that what you're doing is right. And He gave us a brain to think, and He gave us calculators to plan out our finances. We can't just sit here and spend it at the barbecue place and be like, oh yeah, I forgot to pay the bills. Like, no, you don't just be like, oh, if I don't pay my rent, I get kicked out. If I don't pay electric, then I don't get kicked out. So it's like, actually where I live, if I don't pay my electric, they'll kick me out too, so I better pay it right now. So, alright, so pray for me and I'll pray for you, and that's how I'm connecting with the world, with people in other places, close and far, because I'm not necessarily doing a lot of that in person. Although when I go to work at school and stuff, I try to really, like, do or do not, there is no try. I like to really make others feel welcome. And if they really make me angry, same as with my injuries, when it's gotten to above my threshold, then it's like, like, no, I'm not, no. Because then they just walk all over you, and they get a kick out of being rude, or racist, or socioeconomic judgments, or, family status, divorced mother of 2 kids. They don't care that I'm divorced. They don't care that I was married 10 years. They're not married. They have good birth control. It's like, I was married, had kids, and found out that this guy was psychotic and dangerous. It's like, oh, well, if I knew that before I got married, I wouldn't have got married. Hello. But it's like, we were a whole family for 10, legally for 10 years. So it's like, people want to judge you and be like, oh, she probably slept around when she was, it's like, there's no way. Like, what were you, like 12 when you had your kids? I'm like, dude, I'm like 15 years older than I look. Some people, they just, I'm trying to cash in on this. No, I'm trying to be like, treat others like they want to be treated. I'm going to start a business and swallow my pride and be humble and just do the work for these people as a servant, and not give things away because my loans are higher than craziness. So, I'm happy to be alive.